that looks a little bit harder, maybe, but it's the same basic idea. Or maybe it doesn't look any harder. Let's try this. So we have x minus 2 over x minus 1 plus x over x minus 1 equal to x. And we want to solve this. We want to find all solutions in x. Well, what could we do? Well, if you think about this, in one step, we could get rid of all of the fractions if we multiply both sides by what? X minus 1, whatever x minus 1 is. Okay, so if I multiply both sides by x minus 1, what do I get? Well, here, I'll just be left with x minus 2. And here I'll be left with x. And here I have x times x minus 1. So, I have 2x minus 2 equals x squared minus x. If I want to solve this, I can move everything over to the right side. If I subtract 2x there, I get minus 3x. And if I add 2 to both sides, I just get plus 2. Okay, well, if I want to factor this, and I'm looking for some expression in the whole numbers, I'd need a 1 and a 2. And making them both negative will give me that negative 3 once I multiply. So, what does that tell me? Either x equals 1 or x equals 2. Because a product's 0 when one of the two pieces is 0. So x equals 1 or x equals 2. Well, can we stop here? Well, let's think about that. In the x equals 2 case, this works nicely. This fraction goes away completely because 2 minus 2 is 0. And what would we get if x equals 2? If x equals 2, we get 2 over 1 equals 2, which is true. But what happened here in the x minus 1 case? Let's think about that for a second. So we have this expression here, which doesn't exist, right? This doesn't exist, this doesn't exist. This is equal to 1. And then we took both sides and we multiplied it by x minus 1. That was what we multiplied by, which is 0. So we took an equation where one side didn't exist. Then we multiplied both sides by 0. We said we got 0 on the left, even though, 0 times undefined doesn't make any sense. And we said 0 equals 0. Everything works. Equation solved. Well, that doesn't happen. That's not good. Because we were never allowed to plug 1 in to begin with. We would have had nothing here and nothing here that was defined. So, how do we finish the problem? That's all we need to do. And we need to remember, in the future, whenever we multiply both sides of an equation by some expression involving the variable, we have to be very careful that we're not actually creating fake solutions. And we want to look for the real ones.